Hello folks, it's Friday, it's time for a chill, so I thought we'd go with this background today, just to make sure that we can get this uploaded nice and quick, and we can sit off with each other and just have a bit of a chin wag. How's that? Hope going into the weekend you are relaxed and happy, and if you are going to be working this weekend, thank you very much for working while the rest of us get some time off. It means a hell of a lot to us, and if you like what I do, then the subscribe button is down below, the like button is also down below. That really does help me out in the old algorithm. And if you really like what I do, the Patreon is also around down there somewhere. And if you do that, then you can get access to these videos up to 48 hours early. Because you're a special so-and-so to me. Anyway, it's Sarah today. We've been sitting on this for a little while since we got it the other day. And I think it's time to go back into her menagerie of hobby nightmares. So let's jump in, shall we? It's coffee today, because I need waking up before the gym. There we go. Sarah says, "Hello, Northern Exile." Hello. Sarah, have you noticed that it's only women who use my full name? Everybody else says North, Northy, whatever, you know. It's only women say, "Hello, Northern Exile." It's like, okay. Sarah again. "This is a recent hobby nightmare where I do believe I was the bad guy." Ooh. Ooh. Now, Sarah, were you the girl who got rejected by that really, handsome dude with the nice arms? Was this you? "In our local store, there has been a 40k crusade campaign going on for as long as I can remember. I've never been involved and never played Crusade, so I don't know if it's been one long continuous campaign, but it's always had the same group of guys playing. Alright. I would describe these guys as the stereotypical gentlemen you would use to find in old Games Workshop stores. A mixture of skinny and chubby dudes from all ages, some with neckbeards and some with the only whiskers they can grow. Sometimes rather smelly, but all very involved in the lore and the storytelling of their own campaign. No one has as much playing 40k as these fellows. They are always quoting Dawn of War, or lines from the Horus Heresy books, or they fill the place with a good, if sometimes stinky, vibe. But they are great dudes to have around. Well, yeah, thank you for being tolerant, you know what I mean? If they're off on their own, being stinky, dude, yeah, leave them to it. I mean, if it's my store, I'm probably having a word with some of them. Because I'd be like, I want your energy. Like, you guys are amazing, but, I can't have your smell driving off other customers. So either sort that out or go elsewhere. Yeah. I have standards, right? Smelling all right is a non-option, right? Showers are readily available everywhere, and so washing machines. Go and use them. Last week, their main organizer, Jeff, messaged me through Facebook. He said their campaign was coming to a close and they were going to create a brand new one with more new players, but they were going to give the current players a chance to transfer over some of their favourite characters and units. The leading player was going to have a big boss fight, and the score would determine how much of their current force they could keep in the next campaign. Jeff asked me if I wanted to play the big boss, and I said, definitely. Well, if you were the bad guy, we can see where this is going. You can see where this is going. Let's see if I'm right. I reckon you're going to pummel him by accident and cause him to not have any of his models in the next campaign. I asked who I would be playing. Ryan was the leading campaigner with his Grey Knights. I said that this was perfect since I could use my demons. Now, was Ryan the guy with the nice arms? Nah, can't be. Anyway, Jeff was happy about this and admitted he was going to ask me to play them anyway. He said for their big boss fight, it wasn't going to be a usual Crusade game. We were going to have a 2,000 point game using Pariah Nexus missions with 3 additional rules. The first was going to be a tactical liaison, where we could ask someone for advice for a total of 3 minutes. The second was sabotage. This gave us the ability, once during the game, to force the opponent to re-roll any single dice. And the last was at all costs, which meant once during the game, we could pick one of our secondary missions, and if we achieved it, was worth double the victory points. But if we didn't, we would lose 5 victory points. Nothing too groundbreaking, but definitely different and fun. Yeah, sounds good. I asked Jeff if I should play a fluffy list, and he said since it was a big boss fight, I should play the meanest list I have as best as I could, as Ryan would be doing the same. Mistake. I decided to take the list I had been bringing to tournaments. If anybody remembers, it was the list in my last tale. My adoring and avuncular great unclean one, Fatticus, Nerdlings, Bloodthirster, Scarbrand, and an assortment of other Corn and Nurgle units. We set a date and time, which was easy enough since apart from work and exercising at home, I don't really do a lot. There they are, lads. Exercises at home, right? Comment section down below. This poor woman. Right, this. Sorry, Sarah, I'm just taking the piss. This mission was tipping point, raise banners, and taken hold. I got there early and it looked like a heap of the Crusade players were there to watch the game. It was a weird feeling. Jeff was there, and as they saw me, he said, "The Master of Disaster herself has arrived." It did make me smile. I started taking my models out, and Jeff came beside me. It's a bit forward, isn't it? Sorry. Thanks for doing this, Sarah, he said. We wanted a good player outside of the campaign to do this. Ryan is kind of playing all of us tonight, so it would have been a bad feeling to have somebody for the campaign actively playing to reduce our possible rewards, you know what I mean? No problem, I said. I'm flattered you asked me. It should be a fun night. And I really was. They could have asked for for any number of the regular tournament players. Feel free to roleplay a bit, Jeff said. You know, say some things a bad guy would say or whatever. I don't know, maybe, I said. As I was taking out my models, I heard one of the guys say, "We should have made them dress up. Sarah could have been a demonette or something." Jeff was immediately onto it. She plays Nurgle, so she would have to come as a plague bearer or something, and could have dressed up as you. That's good. That's good. That's quick. I like it. Which got a chorus of laughs. It doesn't make me mad. Me and a few of the Magic the Gathering girls are pretty much the only females, and some of these dudes are around. And I feel a lot more comfortable around them than I would in a nightclub or a music festival. Dude, you're a cool person. You're a cool person. I mean, you know, I think it's kind of common sense, but as a woman in such a scenario, you need to just touch grass. Do you know what I mean? You need to just be able to be like, okay, will there be some awkward behaviour by the lads? Yeah, probably. Probably. Is it personal? No, definitely not, right? This isn't a notion where dudes are like saying, "Oh, look at this," you know, they're not actually doing stuff like that. They're just awkward dudes, and this is what they do, and be understanding. And if people cross the line, then yeah, say, listen, that's crossing the line, you need to learn not to do that. But aside from that, nah, get on with it, you know? I've known some very touchy women to be around hobby stores. I don't mean in a good way either. I mean, like, you know, why are you looking at me? Why are you talking to me? Leave me alone. That kind of thing. It's like, dude. Alright, maybe try not having your tits out on display in a hobby store. Maybe that might work. You know, just say it. You know, put it this way. I work behind a bar in Chicago, right? Yeah? And at that point, I was kind of the weight I am now. So I was going to the gym, I was working out, and I was looking good, right? So I'm at the same weight I am now. Maybe a little bit heavier, but I was looking good. And you dress for the part because you want tips. So I'd go in with a tight t-shirt on and, you know, I'd look good. And I'd get tips. But what I didn't do was go in there in like a mankini or, you know, or anything like that because, you know, I don't want people staring at me. I didn't go out with I didn't go with a big bulge in my pants or anything like that. You know, with I don't know, tight leggings that show off the bulge or whatever. No, because I don't want people to look at it. If you go into a hobby store, because there's women there, right? And most of them are like horny mums, single mums. You know, it'd be like asking McDonald's to look after your cow. Like, what are you doing? That's why I didn't do that. So if you walk into a hobby store with your tits hanging out, with guys who very rarely see women at all, never mind attractive women with their tits hanging out, what do you expect? I'm sorry, you know, you don't, the world isn't your pony. You don't just get to walk around, swan around and have, you know, salmon should stay away from bears if it doesn't want to be eaten. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Just, you know, recognize where you are. Now, should you get, like, touched when you don't want to be? No. Should you get comments labeled at you all the time? No, of course not. But if people are just glancing at you and being like, whoa, okay, and then they look away, nah, dude. I've seen women just actually go after dudes who do that. Just for a simple glance. Like, oh my god, there's a woman there, Or, oh my god, there's a woman, there's some tits. Because they don't know not to look. They very rarely see women. Especially tits. Right? I kind of know, but even if you caught me at a wrong moment, you literally go, whoa, there's boobs there, and you're a dude, right? I don't know, man. Your attitude is really cool, but it's not indicative of most people that I've come across in the hobby, unfortunately. Anyway, Ryan came into the store. He is a skinny guy, early 20s, and had glasses, a slight hunch, and a sort of 90s high school haircut. The guys cheered as he entered, and he raised his fist to accept their respect. It wasn't cringe, it was funny in a wholesome way. You could tell these guys were really close, that's cool. I said hello to Ryan, and he said, "Ready yourself for banishment, demon lady," in a friendly way. He extended his hand, and I shook it. Jeff did a little speech at the beginning, and I quote, "Alright guys, last match of the campaign before we move it on. Ryan's Purgation Force is leading the crusade, and so the burden of ridding this world of its alpha threat falls to him. A slight loss will see only some benefits to you all. The greater the victory, the greater we all benefit for the upcoming campaign. Remember, we can cheer, but not interfere. And a big thank you to Sarah for stepping in as the bad guy. Let's have a great game, shall we?" Unquote. Dude, this is great. I like this store. Where is this store? I want to play here. We began deploying. Tipping point is the map where you deploy along the narrow edges of the board, but one half of your deployment is extended much farther than the other, so your deployment is like one large rectangle next to a smaller one, with the large rectangle jutting towards the middle. As usual, I kept Scarbrand and some bloodletters in reserve, while setting up most of my Nurgle stuff off the board. On the board, sorry. So most of the Nurgle stuff's on the board, all the corn stuff, most of it is coming from reserve. Cool, with you. His list is pretty standard, tough Grey Knight list. 2 Dread Knights, I refuse to call them baby characters, show some respect. Caldor Drago, with a unit of 10 Terminators. A big Purifier squad with Castellan Crow, some Strike squads, and some human allies. Henchmen or something, I'm not really sure. Another unit of Terminators, and ironically, Demons match well into Grey Knights because Grey Knights don't have a lot of high strength weapons capable of bringing down the greater demons. I think Drago carries the only anti-demon weapon in the faction, and I don't know if they have any anti-monster weapons. They probably should. Yeah, one thing I will say, one thing that old 6th and 7th edition got right with Grey Knights, dude, if you were a big monster player with Tyranids or demons, you did not want to play Grey Knights. Dude, they would chew through you in seconds. With Force. Force is probably the greatest rule 40k has ever come up with. Right, if Grey Knights turn Force on, which is actually a psychic power to basically power up their swords, if they hit you for 1 wound, and you're a multi-wound model, they destroy all of your all of your wounds go. You're gone. Yeah. These guys chewed through big bads in that game. Like, actually chewed through them. But when Games Workshop made wounds, like, they were lazy and they made wounds this really cool thing where now a force's strength is basically dictated by its wounds, hello Primaris Marines and other things, they took that away from Grey Knights because you can't have Grey Knights chewing through the new big good guys in the game. Can you imagine 7th edition Force coming up against 2 wound or 3 wound Terminators? They would chew through them in seconds, dude. It's ridiculous, right? But I used to play people who were shocked by Grey Knights. Like, I used to play against guys who had all greater demon lists, and they would die in minutes. Like, the game would be over at the top of turn 2, and they'd just stand there shocked. Like, what the hell just happened? It's like, Force, dude. Force. You know? I do 1 wound, you're dead. We're Grey Knights. We are literally built to kill big things. Big, nasty things that are in the game, right? Now, I think they could have used Force in this game, but had it like, if you're 4 wounds or more, then you lose all your wounds, do you know what I mean? but it just does normal wounds to smaller things. That's what I would have done. Or literally do like a monstrous creatures and things like that. So if you're a monstrous creature, if a Grey Knight hits you with one of these weapons, then, you know, it does all of your wounds. Or even don't give force weapons to every Grey Knight. Give the sergeant or of a squad a force weapon, or give champions and ancients and grandmasters force weapons, but nobody else. That'd be cool, right? Just the characters. That would mean Grey Knights are heroes. They're heroic characters. So you take 3 or 4 characters in a single army, like a librarian, a chaplain, a grandmaster, Caldor Drago. Take those 4 in your army, or Castellan Crow, and they have force weapons. They will literally chew through multi-weapon units like it's nothing. You want to keep your characters and demons away from these guys, but everybody else are just really good at chewing through, you know, demons and stuff. They have anti-demon weaponry, you know. That would be good. The fact that they don't do that shows how bloody lazy Games Workshop are, and why I don't play 40k. I just don't play it. I love Grey Knights. They're amazing, and Grey Knights shouldn't be doing Eldar tactics. Grey Knights right now, they're basically Eldar. They have a lot of shenanigans going on where they can teleport across the board and teleport away again. Again, that's fine, but that's a minor part of the Grey Knight lore, dude. That's not what the Grey Knights do. The bread and butter is killing really big things. It's not zooming around all the time. Okay? That's not... It's a tiny part of what they do. Have there be certain stratagems where you can do that? Sure. For very specific units, sure. But the main crux of the Grey Knight army should be, that's a massive monster, but worry not, I'm going to chew through it. A single Grey Knight's going to just climb on top of it, stab it in the eye, right? That's what the codex should be, and it's not. It's ridiculous at the moment. And I think we're about to find out why, because a demon player should look at a Grey Knight's list and go, oh no. Oh no. You know, it's literally the hard counter. You know, you should have hard counters in 40k. You know, a demon player should be looking at a Grey Knight list and going, well, this is going to be an uphill battle. It's not a foreseen conclusion. That would make it a bad game, but this is going to be difficult, you know? Anyway, rant over. But Jeff had told me Ryan was a really good player, probably their best player, and he wanted me to play Chaos Demons. Ryan gets the first turn, which is bad for Grey Knights and good for my demons. He does some maneuvers and scores 1 secondary. Make your move, demon, if you dare, Ryan says. I look at the board. Ryan has left his home objective quite bare, with only the henchman tiptoeing on the edge of it as he tries to screen his backfield. I take out my tape measure and do some measuring, Ryan eyeing me suspiciously. What are you planning? He asks. Oh, just vile demon things, I said, getting into character a bit. One of the spectators did a ooh. I love this. I love this. But Jeff shushed him to not say anything. I'll use my tactical liaison ability now, I say. I take a photo of the board and send it through to John on Facebook Messenger. John is a guy at the store I have a huge crush on. Ah, it's him. It's the arms guy. But he has a girlfriend, so I don't try anything anymore. Anymore. Add that anymore on there. You don't try anything anymore. Now, I read that last story. You got all sweaty over his arms, and you're about to try something, and then his girlfriend looked at you like you're a piece of crap. So you backed away. Quite rightly so, too. He is a great Chaos Demons player, too. Now, I could justify this as me asking advice, but to be honest, it was an excuse to message him innocently. I'm not perfect, are you? You home wrecker. Ah. I sent to John, hey John, having that crusade match now, I did the measurements and I can 3-inch deep strike Fatticus on his own objective turn 1. What do you think? I mean, if there's any text you're going to say to John, it would be about a 3-inch deep strike, wouldn't it? After a moment, John sent back a gif of Grand Chancellor Palpatine saying, do it. So John also says, take the beast with him and place it within 6 of Fatticus to act as a screen. Good luck. I sent back a smiley face. I was going to send the face blowing a heart, but I restrained myself. Shameless, I know. Dude, you need to get yourself a man, dude. Like, this is, you know, you're ravenous. You need to find yourself a handsome hobby man. Comment section down below. Let's sort this poor girl out, for God's sake. At the end of your turn, I spend 1 CP to send Fatticus and a Beast of Nurgle back to the warp, I declare. Ryan narrows his eyes. What are you playing at, Neverborn? I'll admit, this dialogue was quite fun. My turn 1 starts. I push up onto 2 center objectives hard, using a Wargdog, Brigand, and Bloodthirster to sit on them, while using my infiltrating Nurglings and Khorne Fleshhounds as screens to push out Ryan's deep strike range to my bigger units. I get 2 great secondaries, Cleanse and Locus, I think, and I choose to use at all costs and on Cleanse for this turn. Then it happens. Now witness and weep, mortal, I say in a silly voice. 1 CP to 3-inch deep strike Fatticus here, on your own home objective. Now using Fatticus' aura, I 6-inch deep strike the Beast of Nurgle. That is 5 OC to take control of your home objective. Ryan, the poor guy, did not say anything. He just stared at his home objective, probably wondering how the heck he let it happen and what on earth he was going to do next. That was pretty much my turn. I didn't kill anything, just did the secondary mission actions. But the move with Fatticus was worth so much more. All professional players say the same thing. The best play is where you force your opponent to choose between 2 bad options, and that's what I had done. Either Ryan ignores the threat on his home objective and lets me reap havoc there, or he chooses no man's land for an entire turn while he removes the Great Unclean One. If he ignores me, it means his entire rear is in the Shadow of Chaos, so any demon unit can 6-inch deep strike there. And if he focuses on clearing me off, he will cede no man's land to me, where I can go wild with scoring. I was feeling pretty happy. Okay, I could not have hoped for a better turn Ron. Ryan will score nothing for his primary round 2. Grandmaster Drago will make you pay for your insolence, he says, in good spirits. Ryan decides to focus on my Great Unclean One. He moves and deep strikes a large chunk of his force around Fatticus and the Beast, Drago himself deep striking 9 inches away. The Dread Knights open up, managing to kill the Beast with shooting alone. Wow, that's good. The rest of the force that can shoot Fatticus, but he laughs off most of the low-strength firepower. The Stormbolter's psychic fire and missiles being of little threat to a Great Unclean One. Drago charges in, using his extra 3 inches of charge range to close the gap, and the whole unit gets within engagement range. However, because of terrain and the Terminators, the closest Dread Knight is blocked from making the charge. Damn! Foiled by my own men, Ryan laments. The fight phase begins, and Drago swings hard. He always does. He punches way above his weight. With his +2 anti-demon allowing most of his attacks to wound. But my mouth, dude. Let me just take a sip of coffee here. But my beloved Fatticus has my back. His invulnerable saves half more than all of the wounds. His feel no pain saves save a chunk of the rest of the damage. The Terminators swing, however, they simply lack the strength to finish off Fatticus. When the dust settles, he is on around a mere 4 wounds. He strikes back, killing 2 Terminators. The press of Terminators and movements of the henchmen did take the objective off of me, but that was no problem. Fatticus remains! Mwahaha, I said, being goofy. My round 2 was nearly just as good as round 1. I fell back on Fatticus, who healed 3 wounds. I advanced my Bloodthirster towards Drago, then used his bubble to deep strike Scarbrand 6 inches away, along with some Bloodletters. Scarbrand and the Bloodletters make the charge and wipe out the unit, consolidating on his home objective again. I scored max on primary and secondaries, taking an extreme lead over Ryan. From there, Ryan was less playful, focusing hard on using every trick he could to score. he ignored my greater demons and switched to destroying my fast-scoring units. Fatticus was eventually brought down when Ryan used his sabotage ability to make me re-roll a successful invulnerable save and let out a theatrical "I'm melting" for the roleplay. But it was too late. Each turn saw my lead grow a little bit more and Ryan lose units he could not afford to lose. That's Grey Knights for you. That's Grey Knights for you. By turn 4, the mood was kind of subdued. Ryan's face was frowned in concentration as he thought and the rest of the guys looked sullen and crestfallen. I realised that perhaps I went too hard and may have ruined their night for them. Perhaps even their campaign. I messaged Jeff. Jeff, I'm really sorry. I think I've wrecked your night. Should I tone it down and let Jeff get a win or a draw? Haha, he said. No, it's fine. Perhaps Ryan is just figuring out that he is a big fish in a small pond. I asked you to play hard and you did. Don't worry and don't hold back. It's been great to see. I have something in the works, don't worry. So I continued. Mr. Exile, I know Grey Knights are dear to your heart, and I'm sorry to say in this game they were obliterated. The end score was something like 95 to 33, and the Demon Hunters were tabled. Ryan offered his hand and I shook it. Well, this day the demonic hordes could not be stopped. We well played, Demon Lady Sarah. Jeff starts to blurt out. Okay. The Grey Knights, although all perished during the final engagement, banished the key greater demon, the great unclean one known as Fatticus, and in doing so, removed the chaos nexus that was powering the corruption on this world. With the removal of Fatticus, the remaining demons will dematerialize, and the world will return to maximum industrial output. All factions will be able to leave or evacuate. All hail the God Emperor. That's really cool. That's really cool. Jeff continued. Ryan didn't know it, but he was issued a mission so secret even he wasn't allowed to know it. He managed to destroy the demonic warlord, and because of that, every player will earn extra XP for their first 7 games, being the number of Nurgle. On my army list, Scarbrand was actually listed as the warlord, but I didn't bring this up. Yeah, you'd be a real dick to bring it up, to be fair. This helped cheer the guys up a bit, and Ryan got a few consolation slaps on the back. This was supposed to be the climax of their campaign, and I feel like I pretty much ruined it. I didn't need to go as hard, and I didn't need to exploit that home objective weakness. Ryan later messaged me, and I quote, "Thanks for going along with it at the end, hope you don't mind." I didn't, not at all. It made me feel a lot better too. If it wasn't for Jeff's quick thinking, the whole thing would have been an absolute disaster. Luckily, it wasn't, and they asked if I was ready to join their new campaign when it starts, which was really nice of them considering I nearly wrecked the first one they had. I never played Crusade, but it does sound like a lot of fun and a nice change from competitive play. Seems like Crusade play is a great way to tell a story and immerse yourself in the world of 40k, really letting you sink your teeth into the lore. And the lore is what makes 40k in my opinion. There's nothing else like it that I've found. If somebody asked me what the story of 40k is, I would say it's about the indomitable spirit of mankind. I think being able to play that story on the tabletop with my Black Templars is going to be amazing. Nothing too fantastic in the story, but I hope you and your listeners liked it. Sarah. Well, I think we have had one of the greatest, if not the greatest battle report we've had on the channel. I really enjoyed reading that. I really enjoyed reading that. And I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. That was a hobby nightmare, at least for Sarah, and at least for Ryan there, because he took an absolute pummeling. But it is what it is. The Grey Knights aren't what they should be in the modern 40k setting, and he obviously didn't use them very well in the way that, you know, he wasn't jumping around all over the place and doing shenanigans. But there we are. I love you a long time. I will speak to you on Sunday for some more 40k, live streams. We'll be with you on Sunday. And then on Monday, we'll be back for more Hobby Nightmares. So I love you all. Speak to you soon, and have a good one. Bye now.